Welcome to the channel. It's spooky season, which means we're bringing you a special treat. A new horror series premiering today. You won't want to miss it. In 1983, 5 children vanished from the small rural town of Black Hollow, Oregon. It was the night of the annual Harvest Festival, a time when the town came together to celebrate the autumn equinox and give thanks for the bounty of the season. But this year, a thick fog had rolled in, blanketing the town in an eerie silence. As the children made their way home from the festival, they were seen walking into the woods surrounding the town, but they never came out. The only clue of VHS tape left behind at the entrance to the woods showing their every move until the point they walked into the trees. At which point the screen was cut to static, revealing only a single symbol, a hollow tree with shisa roots. For Detective Elias Carter, the case was personal. Decades later, he would become obsessed with solving it, turning his true crime podcast into a full-time gig. Elias had once been a journalist, but after being caught up in a massive scandal, he'd been forced to flee his hometown. Now living under a new identity, he poured all his energy into exposing the truth behind the Black Hollow disappearances. But as he dug deeper into the case, he uncovered disturbing similarities between this case and several others across the US, all of them seemingly connected to that same symbol. Then came the twist. The 6th child who went missing, Elias's estranged sister, had returned home 4 days after she vanished, but she didn't remember anything about what happened to her. And when Elias got close enough to investigate, he noticed she seemed to have a second shadow. Determined to get to the bottom of this, Elias followed the trail of the symbol, eventually tracking it to the Hollow Church, a defunct cult whose beliefs centered around the idea that the world was ending and that the only way to survive was to empty children of sin through a series of increasingly horrifying rituals. Their goal was to summon a deity whose name they refused to speak, believing that merely uttering it would bring about the apocalypse. Here, Elias found audio logs of the cult leaders describing a ceremony known as the naming, where children were reborn as vessels for something older, something hungrier. But not everyone was so eager to participate. Several survivors reported hearing whispers coming from their reflection, prompting the cult to take drastic measures, covering mirrors and windows with black cloth to prevent anyone from looking at themselves. And then there was Elias's sister, who seemed to be drawn to the cult despite having no memory of the previous 5 years. One day while visiting her grave, Elias saw the face of one of the missing children staring back at him from the crowd. Assuming it was just a trick of the light, he continued on, but he began to see her everywhere, always just out of reach, always watching. When Elias got close enough to the cult, he managed to seal one of their tapes, discovering a hidden message in the VHS frames. Decoding it revealed coordinates leading to an underground bunker filled with Shisan preserved bodies of children, each perfectly preserved down to their blinking eyes. They were still alive, kept in stasis by the cult. In a panic, Elias fled, realizing the cult planned to use him to break the seal on the bunker and unleash whatever was inside. But there was more. As he looked around, he realized the cult wasn't really a cult at all. It was a front for a highly classified government experiment, Project Hollow, studying psychic voids, remnants of trauma so intense they caused the mind to fragment, creating space for something else to move in. It was inspired by real-life conspiracy theories like MK Ultra. And all this time, Elias had been unknowingly hollowed as well. Back at the bunker, Elias decided to do what he did best, expose the truth. Playing the original tape, hoping to find a way to stop whatever was coming, he instead unleashed a horde of static-covered figures that clawed their way out of the television and into the room. But there was one face among them that Elias recognized with horror. His sister's. She'd been taken as a child and used as a vessel for whatever was inside the bunker, becoming one of the named, a hybrid of child and entity, pure evil given form, and now she was here to claim him as one of her own. With his final moments, Elias recorded one last episode of his podcast, begging anyone who listened to destroy any VHS tape bearing the symbol, unaware that the signal had already spread, infecting other dimensions. The podcast went viral, drawing the attention of millions. But as viewers shared their thoughts, some noticed something disturbing. Their reflections were beginning to blink. Now, you'll want to watch part R of The Hollow Children, so click here to watch part R of The Hollow Children or click here to watch another one of our new horror shorts.